And now we go to Twitch. Here we go. Sup, y'all. Welcome to Original Gamers Podcast. My name is Patrick Ryan, your handsome host. I like to think I'm handsome anyway. I am joined this week, as always, by Joel Watt.
Hello, friends.
And Nolan Brown.
Hey, everybody.
Nolan's not on camera, and he's going to tell us why here in a little bit. We're going to be talking about Jak 3 for the PlayStation 2, but before we get into that, let's catch up with the cast. Joel, I'll let you go first. How's it going?
Pretty good. Finally getting over that cold. I don't feel sick anymore.
That's good.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's been a normal week, I guess. I mean, not too busy. Even though I still haven't played the game that we're supposed to talk about today. I played some Super Mario Odyssey finally for the first time in forever because I ran out of things to do in Breath of the Wild because finding 900 Koroks is ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So,
are you going to find all 900 of them?
No, I put 260 hours into that game. I'm done. There's no more DLC. I did everything. I'm done.
Sometimes you just got to call it a day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not quite there yet. I just finished the Champions Ballad, but I have not finished all of the Trial of the Sword. I'm through the first section.
Trial of the Sword was crazy hard.
And I'm not quite at all 120 shrines. I think I hit 100 recently.
I hit 120 way before I did any of the DLC.
Yeah. So, but it's nice because that means that the thing that you get at the end of the Champions Ballad, which if for some reason you are playing through it and still don't know what you get at the end of it, I won't spoil it, but my feelings on it were if I had done everything else that there was to do in the game, there's probably not a whole lot of reason to have that particular thing. So I'm kind of glad that
I did Champions Ballad last. And you know, it was fun for a little while, the reward. But then I was just like, the novelty wore off. You know? I didn't find very many Koroks on that. And I was just like, yeah, I'm done.
It'd have been nicer to have earlier in the game, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, cool. All right, Nolan, you want to give everybody? I'm sure you've told this story 900 times already. So if you don't want to go into too much detail, you don't have to. But
yeah,
update everybody.
So Wednesday was Ash Wednesday, also Valentine's Day, which just so happens to be my birthday. And I was at work. I worked for this like after school camp, and I was on my last route picking up kids, and we're on our way back to camp. And as I was trying to merge on the freeway, these two cars hit me from the left and pushed me off the freeway, and you know, I went through a fence, rolled down an embankment, and apparently hit a gas line too. And
wow.
Yeah,
didn't hear about that.
Yeah, I didn't know that at first either. It was after the fact I found out. Yeah, so that was fun. Thankfully the kids were okay. They only had like seatbelt burns and bruises, so nothing serious there. I came to, and the firefighters were cutting the roof off of the van. And I'm mostly okay. Nothing broken, nothing permanent damage besides, like, you know, some bruises and some cuts, a few scars I'm gonna have. But you know, praise God that it wasn't worse than it was, considering like what happened.
Yeah, no kidding.
So
yeah, you got really lucky. Like all those things that happened to you, and you basically walked away.
Yeah. Well, like I came to, and they were cutting me out, and I realized like my leg was stuck, so I like unpinned my leg from like the central like like the dash or whatever,
Yeah.
whatever it was stuck under, and
The
then
center console or something.
yeah, and they're like talking to me. I'm just cracking jokes, but I think that was mostly because I knew if I didn't, there was a chance, I might go into shock, which I didn't want to have happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I'm okay. I made it to church this morning, and when the lead pastor saw me, he started clapping, and everyone was happy to see me and see that I'm pretty much okay. But I look a lot worse than I actually am. So, but
Yeah.
the real bummer part about all this is that my right arm, my right hand hit something, and it got it hit something, and the force of the impact basically split open my hand, which kind of, so it's very painful, and so is my right arm. But I can't I can't grip a controller, so I can't actually play any games. All this time off work, I find myself suddenly having
all this free time, and you can't play games. That's terrible.
That
sucks. But like I said, it could have been worse, and
yeah, I think that's a small price to pay for coming out relatively unscathed.
Yeah, kidding.
Yeah, exactly. So
well, I mean, just look on the bright side. It means that you're not going to miss that PS4 that still hasn't shown up.
Well, and on that, I was going to bring that up too. Since I had time, I didn't have to go to work this week. I called GameStop and basically got a hold of someone finally and said, this is what's happened. They're like, I'm like, I would just like to cancel the order at this point. Like, okay, give me a second. And we went through the whole thing, and I'll get my refund sometime this week. And
cool.
Friday night, my buddy, when he came to pick me up to take me to the Friday night church, the college service, he showed up. He had a nice GameStop bag, and inside was a PS4 that he's like, here, happy birthday / I'm sorry you were in a car accident.
Nice. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So,
what a good friend.
I know. He really is. In fact, he was the one that when this was going on that alerted my parents to what happened. So
okay. Is he also the one that posted about it in the community? Because that's how most of us found out. Okay.
Yeah, that was him.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
So yeah. So
well, all right.
That's been my week.
When I learned about it, I was at work. I kind of wish I could have left right then to go visit you, because man, I felt so helpless. It was like, he's only 4 hours away, and yet I'm stuck here at work.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
Well, I'm like, he's only on the other side of the country, and I'm stuck in Florida.
Yeah.
Well, we're
the really
glad
funny part is that my phone disappeared, right? Thursday morning, one of my bosses shows up, and he has my phone. The battery's missing because it's that phone that it comes apart easily, but it's shock resistant, and there was no cracks on the screen, and it works fine. Had the SIM card still. My dad picked up a new battery, so I have my phone.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I know. Even had the charge cable still attached. So
man.
Yeah.
A free PS4 and your phone cable was still attached to the phone.
I know, it's a good phone cable. It's a good charge cable too.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, when I got in an accident not too long ago, my stepdad and I both had our phones in our hands, and they disappeared in the accident because everything happened so fast. You get hit so hard, you lose track of everything. And yeah, it took us a good 2 or 3 minutes to find our phones. But the really funny thing is, both of us had our sunglasses on top of our head, and both pairs ended up all the way behind the back seat of the car.
Wow.
and I'm sitting in the back seat, and he's sitting in front of me, and my mom was driving. And so, yeah, for whatever reason, when we got hit, rear-ended on the freeway, we moved so fast that our sunglasses did it. They ended up all the way back there.
That's funny.
Yeah. Well, my mom had her phone attached to her, so that was easy for her to call 911. But yeah, accidents
Yeah.
are no fun. I was
No, that's the
traumatized for a
truth.
while.
Uh,
Like hearing accidents in movies and TV shows, like yeah, I couldn't handle it for a little bit.
Oh wow.
right.
Even video games, like I was watching some guy play like Forza 4 or something, and the sound design was so good. I was just like, yeah, I can't do this.
Yeah. I've only been in. Hang on, how many? Is it a 2 or 3? I think 2. 2 collisions. Neither one was my fault. But yeah, it was, and then neither one of them were nearly as bad as what you're describing. I mean, it was like you get hit, the car moves
No.
around the road a little bit, and everybody walked away from it. So, but yeah,
we technically walked away from ours, but the car was totaled. Like,
yeah.
The guy hit us. Thankfully, we were in a full size SUV, and he was in a little Japanese compact, and he hit us at freeway speed, and we were stopped. And,
oh gosh.
Yeah.
Was he okay? Jeez.
He walked away. Literally, got out of his car, looked in the window, and ran off.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So he's an upstanding citizen.
Yeah. Thanks, pal.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Nah, but yeah, and then he hit us so hard, like we hit the SUV in front of us, which was also a full size SUV, and so we got sandwiched, and the car we hit took off. We never saw them, and of course, the guy that hit us took off on foot, and eventually, like. Idiot left his car there, so of course they found him.
Well,
Yeah, of course they did. Yeah, jeez.
And we positively ID'd him because he looked in the window. We're like, yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah.
And the insurance hit him with a really steep bill, but like we had to go to court a couple of years later, and it was like really aggravating that we did take time out of our day and say, yeah, that's the guy again. Yeah.
That's
Hit and run, no fun.
Nope. Well, go ahead.
I feel like Nolan got it worse though, because like not only like you rolled 3 times, right? Did you say that?
It was at least once. It sounded like it was twice, but yeah. And
okay. I thought I read an article that said you rolled 3 times.
Oh, maybe it was then.
Yeah, I think that that TV station that reported on it, I feel like they said that. So
I was on TV too. I didn't know that. Okay.
Well, it was a website.
Yeah, it was the TV station's website. I'm sure that they probably did a report on the air, just from knowing how television stations work. I'm sure. Yeah. Whether or not you were on TV, I couldn't say.
Yeah, I don't driving mine.
Yeah. So this last Sunday, I wasn't on. I was at a Jim Gaffigan concert with my concert. Is that what these are when you go to a comedy show?
It's a show.
Concert? Show, yeah. With my wife, we were celebrating our 2-year anniversary. Now our 2-year anniversary was actually in January, and this is like our actual 2-year anniversary because we had a wedding, and then like we had where we got married, and then we had our like a wedding later.
Yeah,
we were there.
So yes, you were. So we went to that, and that's why I wasn't here last Sunday. And I got these tickets well in advance, and I was hoping to surprise her with them. And one day, and I told her, I'm like, look, I'm gonna buy our anniversary gift, and it's gonna be this much money. So when you see something that big in the bank account, like, don't freak out. And she's like, okay. Well, one day she's in the bank account and she's just looking over stuff, and she comes across that charge and doesn't think a whole lot of it, except for the fact that the charge actually says it's for a Jim Gaffigan concert. Like, bank.
It's not just like Ticketmaster or something.
No, it's actually, this is what it's for. And I'm like, come on, like, seriously now? So she knew what it was beforehand, and she found out while she wasn't with me. So she said that she did everything she could to hold in her excitement so that she could get all of her excitement out in front of me and like share that with me. So that was but anyway, we had a lot of fun. Went and had dinner and stuff, and so that was cool. And you guys talked about Star Wars something last week, right?
Rogue Squadron.
Rogue Squadron, yeah. And so I haven't gone and listened to it yet, obviously, but I will sometime. And then go ahead.
Oh well, I was just gonna say Josh Adi Darman was on the podcast, and he did a really good job of staying on point.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Well, congrats, Josh. Josh can be awfully all over the place, so that's good though. So then Wednesday, to surprise her for Valentine's Day, I'd been telling her like we're gonna go to dinner, and then I had to leave from Memphis to go do this interview that I've been kind of pumping up. And so I told her like, yeah, we'll go to dinner, and then I'll leave from Memphis. And she was like, oh, but we're gonna be rushed and stuff. And I surprised her by showing up at her work for lunch and took her to lunch instead of out to dinner. So, oh hey, hi Kelly or Kyra or both, whichever one you are, in our chat, which no one can see on the podcast because I don't have the overlay up. So anyway, I did that. Then that night left for Memphis. That was, I'm sure one day I'll talk about how that went because the planning going up to it was kind of a mess. There was a lot of miscommunication on all from everybody. I mean, I can't say that it was all them, but you know, I can't say it was all me. There was just it was a lot of trying to get a lot of moving pieces together. All very quickly, but it wound up turning out okay, except for one minor little detail. And I think so I got some student helpers. The school that I went to is a music college, so they have musicians, and it's a Christian thing, so there's worship leaders and stuff, but there's also an audio department who does all the recording. And so they sent up some audio students to record the sound, and they were going to help me run the cameras. And by run the cameras, I mean I pointed them where I wanted, and I just said, hey, make sure that they don't stop recording because I didn't really need them to move. But they were handling my audio for me, and they use all Apple products there. So they're on Mac OS X, and they're using Logic, which, for as much crap as I give Apple, the one time that I'll find myself wishing I had a Macintosh is anytime that I'm using audio editing software, because Logic and even that free thing, GarageBand, that comes with it is just, I don't know what it is, but it's just easier to use and better in almost every way than pretty much anything that I've ever used on a PC. I don't think that way about the video editing stuff, but so anyway, so they're doing this, and
Audacity is worth every penny you pay for it.
Yeah, that's the truth. Well, and even because I've got the Adobe Creative Suite and I have Adobe Audition, but
Audition's great.
It's good, but it's not like as simple as on Logic or especially GarageBand, because GarageBand is supposed to be just plugging it in and going. So anyway, they're using Logic, and everything's fine. They've got a waveform and it's recording, and they've got enough disk space and everything, and we get done. And everything's good. And I go over there and I look at it. I see the waveform. Everything's there. Everything looks perfectly fine. And then I start tearing down. And all of a sudden, this kid, and I'm not going to say his name because I'm not going to throw him under the bus. And it's not his fault, as far as I can tell. It's not his fault. So I don't want, like, if for some reason he hears this, I don't want him to think that I'm, like, mad at him, because I'm not. But he gets this, like, dead look in his face. And I'm like, what's wrong? And he goes, it's gone. I went, what do you mean it's gone? And he's like, it's not there. I don't know where it is. And I'm like, you still haven't told me what it is. What is gone? The waveform was gone. So he's in Logic, and there's the thing that shows in his timeline, and it shows how long the recording was, 50 minutes or something like that. The waveform's just not there anymore. Like, you hit play, you hear nothing. It'll play, like the little thing moves, and like you're looking at it. And I would assume if we'd have sat there for the whole 50 minutes, it would have gone all the way to the end and stopped like it should. There's just no audio there. So he's looking all over the internet for, like, what happened, where find some solution to this. And I get on my phone and I'm looking, and all I could determine was that this problem is a problem that happens often enough that people have asked about it on forums, but not often enough that anybody has any idea how to fix it or even what the problem was.
Of course.
So, fortunately, I do have audio from the camera mics. Of course, that's not going to be anywhere near as nice as what we recorded with the microphones. But this kid, he said he's going to talk to the audio professor at the school on Monday, see if he can't salvage this. He seemed to think that he would be able to, and I hope that he can. But if not, I'll use the camera audio. It won't sound amazing, but it'll be there. The experience of going up there and shooting the interview was a really good experience, even if I wind up with, even if like worst case scenario happened and I just did not have the interview at all. Like nothing's usable and it's not even worth publishing. Even if that happened, I got to meet a lot of students. I got to make some really good connections for CrossForge Gaming with Visible School, talk to some of the staff, tell them who we are. A lot of the students, Thursday night, we played Jackbox Party Pack just there with the students. I had between 15 and 20 students show up. We had some pizza and Mountain Dew and stuff like that. And one girl was having so much fun that when she had to leave early to go do her homework, she's like, "Are you doing this next week?" And I'm like, "I live in Florida, so no."
Poor girl.
But I got to tell her about, how we do it on Twitch and that she could come join us there. So the experience was good, and it was worth it, even if there was that the frustration leading up to it, and then the possibility that I don't have any audio. So again, if you're the student who was helping me and you're hearing this, nobody's mad at you. No, nobody's, angry. I'm not going to tell all of my friends that you ruined my interview or anything like that. You did a fantastic job. I'm glad you worked with me. Just if I can throw in a little joke there, that's what you get for using Macintosh. All right, moving on.
I don't think there are very many in this group that would disagree with you.
No, probably not. I'm going to say hey to Ned in our chat real quick. For those of you who are listening to this later, this is, hi, Nightbot. Nobody likes you. For those of you who are listening to this later, we do stream this live to Twitch. That's twitch.tv/CrossForge Gaming. You can come out and join us, listen to it live, and all that stuff. All right, we are talking about Jak 3. Now, I haven't played this because I was gone. I do own it for the PS3, but I haven't played it because I was gone in Memphis. Joel hasn't played it because he never got around to beating Jak 2, which actually I
never got around to beating Jak 1.
Oh yeah, so
I haven't played Jak 2 because I felt that I should. And yeah.
And unfortunately, the one person here who knows the most about it was in a car accident and probably doesn't feel up to talking a whole lot. But we're gonna get through this. Talk. We're still gonna Yeah, I know you can talk, but it's just
we don't want to put that on you.
Yeah, and I feel bad because So anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and go through this. So the developers of this game are Naughty Dog, who we have talked about at least twice before, because we
at least twice, if not more.
The other two Jak games. Have we done a Crash Bandicoot yet?
No, but
we did. Did
we talked about Naughty Dog when we did Spyro.
Okay, yeah. So they've come up quite a bit, and now that Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy is out, of course I don't have a PS4 anymore, but at the very least the two of you could play it. And
I kind of want it, but I'm too busy playing Nintendo games.
That's how I feel about everything. Maybe if the Insane Trilogy comes out on the Switch, then I'm
gonna say that's probably never going to happen.
Yeah,
never know.
I don't think.
I don't know. They did say. I feel like there was rumor going around that it was only exclusive to the PS4 for a limited time. So, who knows? Because didn't Activision publish that?
Originally, it was Vivendi Universal.
Right, but I mean the Insane Trilogy.
The Insane Trilogy. I have no idea who did that.
Activision has the license, but I could be very wrong about that. Anyway,
I mean, hey, Dark Souls is coming to the Switch, so who knows? What else
it's true.
Yeah, but Dark Souls is never a console exclusive.
That's very true.
That's also true.
That's the whole
Also
reason
true.
that Dark Souls exists instead of Demon Souls 2.
Oh gosh, I know. I'm still kind of bummed that they're doing it. I mean, I'm not. I'm happy Dark Souls Remaster is happening, but I would have much rather had a Demon Souls Remaster.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
so you could play it on not a PS3.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
well.
to play that game on a modern system, like 60 FPS locked and crisper, like it's so nice.
it's
Because
fantastic.
like I was watching the completionist play the Shadow of the Colossus remastered, and I could not believe how much better it looked on PS4 than it did on PS3.
Oh yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Like the colors and the details and like how crisp it was. He was on a PS4 Pro, but like scaling it down to 1080, and
Yeah.
but like it was amazing. And then they added a ton of content that's not in the HD version, so that's why it's like it's a full remastering. It's not just an upscaling port. Like
Okay.
Which game are you
That's
talking
cool.
about again?
Shadow of the Colossus.
Shadow of the
Okay,
Colossus.
Yeah, that when they announced that remaster, even though I have the collection thing for PS3,
Yeah, the HD remake.
but I have it because it was free with PS Plus, so I would have to re-up my PS Plus subscription to be able to
Oh.
play it again. But
I have a disc.
I love that game. And when I heard that they were doing that game in particular for PS4, I think that was the first time since I traded my PS4 in for my Switch that I was like, oh, I'm not going to get to play something that I really want to play. But yes, I want a PS4 so that I can play a remake of a PS3 game that was a remake of a PS2 game.
I feel like they worked on it from the ground up.
Yeah,
Like, how much content they added in.
I think so. I've heard about like the other stuff that they added, and it looks so pretty.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty. All right, anyway, back to Jak 3. It's published by Sony Computer Entertainment. It was directed by Jason Rubin and Amy Hennig, who has actually been in the news a lot lately. She left Naughty Dog after Uncharted 3, or was it after? Yeah, because I think she was somewhat involved in The Last of Us and then Uncharted 4, but she left Naughty Dog before either one of those games was finished. She got a job at EA. She was working on whatever EA's big single player Star Wars game was going to be, which I know everybody was excited about. And then EA was like, hey, you know that bang up job we're doing with Battlefront? We're going to keep that up and forget this single player nonsense. Nobody wants that.
Yeah.
So now Amy Hennig's not with EA anymore. So she's been making the rounds doing interviews and stuff. And she's been in the industry a very, very, very long time. And
she worked on Uncharted 4 a little bit.
Yep.
But she left in 2014. So the game was still in development.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so that means maybe The Last of Us was already out. I was thinking that she left before it was finished, though.
I'm not seeing that she did script work for that game.
Okay, maybe she didn't.
But she was with the company at the time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she left to go work on the EA single player game. And
now there is no EA single player game. So
Nope.
We talked about this last week. I just want Assassin's Creed with Boba Fett. Is that too hard to ask? Or any Star Wars character, really. It doesn't even have to be Boba Fett. Anybody that's cool. It could be an original character.
What if it
Han
was
Solo?
What if it was Jabba the Hutt?
Dude, Jabba the Hutt, Assassin's
Jabba the Hutt climbing up walls, and
He is a slug. They do stick to things. It's just he weighs a metric ton.
I want a single player game where I play as the forgive me for not remembering the name of it, the thing that's in the pit that they're trying to chuck Luke into.
Sarlacc.
Yeah, I want to play that. You just sit there and you wait, and then you hit A when
that sounds like the perfect mobile game, which is a thing that they do.
Sarlacc Simulator 2018.
Yes.
Yeah, because they've got the Fallout. What is it called? The Fallout Shelter?
game? Yeah, the shelter thing. Yeah,
where
why
you
not?
Just sit there and wait for things to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why not Sarlacc Simulator.
Yep, Game of the Year 2018.
There we go.
ABY 5. Starlight Simulator ABY 5.
All over that. Yeah, so anyway, but Amy Hennig's been in the industry for, I feel like, almost as long as the video game industry has been a thing in the West. Yeah, because she worked on some real interesting games way back then and has moved her way up to better things. I mean, like, I would love to be able to say that I got fired as the lead writer on a Star Wars game by EA. That's way more accomplishment than I've actually made in my entire life. Right? So I would take that.
What is my biggest claim to fame? My worship pastor is Jeremy Camp's brother.
There you go.
And that wasn't even my doing. Like,
you just happened to be there.
I just happened to work with him. Like,
all right. Moving on. Nolan, who designed this game?
It's Evan Wells and Richard Lemarchand.
Lemarchand?
Lemarchand.
Not Lemarchand?
That could be. I don't know.
Lemarchand.
Accent on that one.
Why do you think I this outrageous accent?
like that video that redneck trying to say the name of those towns in PUBG.
Oh God, that is hilarious.
It is amazing.
Sounds
Los Tigers. What did he say the one time?
There was one where he.
Oh no, the best one is the final one where it's like Los Baños and it's Los Banos. And the Spanish guy just goes America.
Yeah, America. Yeah.
Which, for those of you who don't know, Los Baños means the bathroom.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's pretty good stuff.
Actually, that's a town in California, Los Baños.
Oh
Spanos.
Yeah. That's a weird thing.
There are some towns in Central California that have Spanish names that don't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like Madero, which just means wood. And manteca, which means lard. Like, don't make any sense.
That's interesting. Good old California,
right?
All right, Nolan, who wrote the game?
It's Jason Rubin again.
Yep, and I'm sure we talked about him before, but I did pull up his Wikipedia again for a little refresh. He is best known for his work on Crash Bandicoot and Jak and Daxter, which is the game that we're talking about. He co-founded Naughty Dog with Andy Gavin back in 1986. And here's another thing that I wouldn't mind having be on my resume. He was the president of THQ when it closed due to bankruptcy. So there's another thing that I'd be like, hey, so what's your claim to fame? Well, I drove THQ into the ground, which is still more than I've done in my entire life. So good for him, I say.
Yeah.
Like, I've run 5 failed businesses.
Yeah.
You know, that doesn't sound great, but at least you ran 5 different businesses, right? Like,
exactly. Most people haven't haven't
even done one.
Yeah. See? So good for him. Yeah. All right, Joel, composers.
Mark Mothersbaugh. And if you don't know who that is, he's the band leader for Devo. I feel like we've talked about him a couple times.
Band leader for Devo.
He's done lots of video game music.
And TV. He was and
TV
for Rugrats.
Yes.
That's what I remember him for. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's him.
Yes, he composed the music for Rugrats. He is super, super weird. I mean, if you've ever seen a Devo music video, that you're like, duh. But he tries to find new ways to make music with things that shouldn't be instruments.
Like, it's really,
I'm looking at a picture of him and Devo, and they're in like plastic yellow. You can't call them. You couldn't, raincoats. That makes sense. I was like, you couldn't call them hazmat suits because they're not long sleeve, but like raincoats.
Yeah, they're in raincoats.
And then they're all wearing what look like back braces. I'm not sure that that's what those are, but they're there. And then this is on the Wikipedia. And then what looks like flower pots on their heads.
Yeah, the little red Kirby hats.
Yeah, that's kind of what they're known for.
So there you go.
He wrote the title theme song for the Super Mario World TV show.
Heck yeah.
Like,
right?
swing your arms from side to side. That one?
I
No,
believe
the
so,
Super
yeah.
Mario World.
You said Super Mario
Oh.
World, so that's
No,
It's
I'm
Super Mario
thinking
World
Super Mario
TV
Brothers Super
series.
Show.
yeah.
Yes, sorry.
It's still cool.
Yeah,
I don't know that one off the top of my head.
I don't either.
Let's see. He composed a song called "Get a Mac" for Apple commercials. He was on in 2013. He was on an episode of the Aquabats, which
Of course.
see an action comedy series by the creators of Yo Gabba Gabba, and I feel like Yo Gabba Gabba and the Aquabats are also somehow connected to the two guys that ran HomestarRunner.com.
Yo Gabba Gabba
Possibly.
is definitely like directed. Like there are lots of episodes directed by the brothers. What are their names?
The Brothers Chap, is that it?
Yeah, Brothers
Okay.
Chap, the Chapman brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they call themselves the Brothers Chaps. That's right. It's
Yeah.
so dumb. But yeah, they directed lots of episodes of Yo Gabba Gabba, which is why the Homestar Runner website was like on hiatus for so long.
Yep.
And still releases content very intermittently. I don't know what connection they have to the Aquabats though, or what Yo Gabba Gabba has to Aquabats.
Apparently, it was Steve-O influenced.
Maybe it's nothing. Now, see, Kelly, for those of you who are not here, you don't see in the chat, Kelly and Kyra and their kid are actually very big fans of the Aquabats. And so if anybody here would know if they've got a connection to Yo Gabba Gabba or Homestar Runner, it would be him. I only know one song by the Aquabats, and it's I don't know the name of it, but it goes, "Hey homies, what was that? We don't need no thugs, unless those thugs was giving out hugs," or something like that. It's really catchy, and I rather enjoyed it and would.
Travis
totally.
Barker was a member of the Aquabats.
Who is Travis Barker?
He's the drummer for Limp Bizkit. No, Blink-182. Wait,
it's funny either way. It doesn't matter.
Wait, which one is it now? I always get them confused.
They're both really bad bands
Sorry,
from
like,
the 90s. So who
cares?
Yeah. So
he's kind of hard to miss because he's tatted from like the neck down. Like,
right. Mm-hmm. Oh,
and he often Blink-182.
Yeah,
Thank you, Kelly.
Yeah. So, and I promise you, the only reason Kelly knows that is not because of Blink-182,
but because of the Aquabats. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through their Wikipedia page and I see this picture. I'm like, that looks like Travis Barker, and I read the caption. I'm like, it is Travis Barker. What the heck?
There you go. All right. Anyway, so that's only one of three composers. We got two more.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
we're getting super. Yeah, Josh Mansell. That does not sound super familiar, but the third name, Larry Hopkins, does.
Okay, so Josh Mansell worked on Crash Bandicoot and Jak and Daxter. He's received 2 Daytime Emmy nominations for his work on the children's television series Clifford the Big Red Dog. Which actually, I think I saw in the Wikipedia briefly that Mark Mothersbaugh was also involved in Clifford. So it just sounds like these guys do a lot of work with kids shows.
We are talking about Jak 3. Currently, we're going through the credits, talking about the music composers.
That's right. Because none of us played the game, so we actually have to have something to talk about. So did you say Larry Hopkins?
Yeah, so I found an IMDb page for him and not a Wikipedia page.
Okay.
So that's actually more reliable. It's just hard to sift through, find interesting things. He's done lots of TV music composing.
Okay.
Let's try and hit some things that I recognize. The Story of Us with Morgan Freeman. He did 1 episode of Family Guy. Petey the Fourth. And he's a Foley editor. That's fun.
Vampire Diaries. Okay, I know that one.
Okay, so he's a Foley artist. I'm looking at
Oh.
this. All his credits
Okay.
to Foley artists. For those of you who don't
That's pretty
understand what
cool.
that means, it means they make sound effects by
Yep.
doing things in front of a microphone. So like anytime there's like footsteps or like clothing movement or people kissing even or like the lightsaber sound was technically done with Foley artistry.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
To get that whoosh. Sorry, I'm gonna nerd out on Star Wars for a minute. But to like explain it, to get the whoosh sound, the sound designer Ben Burt recorded a broken air conditioner, played that sound through a broken speaker, took a microphone on the end of a meter-long pole and wove it in front of the broken speaker playing the broken air conditioner sound to get that lightsaber hum and a Doppler effect of the whoosh going by because he's swinging the microphone like a lightsaber. So
Yeah.
that's what Foley artistry is creating sound effects live almost.
Yep.
Instead of sitting there at your synthesizer and going, what happens if I mess with these frequencies?
Yeah, and if you ever get an opportunity to like watch a video of a Foley artist, it's fascinating. I know like it kind of sounds boring, but trust me, it's really, really, really neat.
I love sound design.
To watch.
You really get into the nitty gritty of it.
Right. Because a lot of it is somebody's walking, so you just have a wooden floor and you walk on it, and it's pretty simple. But then there's other sounds where you've got to come like a lightsaber. What does a lightsaber sound like? I don't know. I got to make it up, and you come up with that.
Yep.
So there you go. All right. Artist. We got Bob Rafey. I don't know.
Rafey sounds good, yeah.
Rafey, yeah, Rafei. Then we got Bruce Strawley and Eric Pangilinan. Pangilian. That sounds way better than whatever nonsense was about to come out of my mouth. So I
had to check that 3 times to make sure I spelled it correctly.
Yep, and I didn't. I don't recognize any of those guys, but I'm sure that they have been with Naughty Dog for a while because that seems to be a trend around here.
He worked on Crash Bandicoot, Uncharted, Last of Us.
There you go. So he's done
it's the same art from the previous Jack and Daxter games. So.
Yeah. So
but doesn't Jack look more tough this time again?
Just
oh yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, he's older, so
yeah. And he probably talks a little bit more, right?
He does. There's a little.
He's finally learned to use his words.
Yeah. Use your words. All right. The game was originally released on the PlayStation 2 in North America on November 9th, 2004. Australia, just November 2004. We don't have a date. And Europe in November 26, 2004. Does that mean this game never saw a original release in Japan?
It did not, according to what I found.
I wonder if the remake
not
trilogy
until the
was it
worldwide on the PS4. So not even on it doesn't look like on the PS3 or the Vita.
Well, there you go.
So
there's a PS4 version.
Well, it's yeah, kind of.
Like, that's part of that backwards compatibility that they have. Maybe
exactly. That's what it is.
Okay,
that isn't really.
As soon as I said it, I kind of thought, wait a second, maybe that's it.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's kind of like Xbox Arcade kind of situation.
Yeah, it's backwards compatible as long as you pay for the game again.
Yeah. Exactly. Which I would gladly do because this game is fantastic.
Yeah, and I really can't joke because I couldn't tell you how many times I've paid Nintendo for the first Super Mario Brothers. So
yeah.
Hopefully,
I'm trying to think how many times I've paid for Super Mario World.
I'm hoping that whatever system they come up with for the Switch for old games will be like it is on PC or like it is on Xbox right now. You buy it and you don't have to worry about it again. It just works, but we'll see.
At least 3 times.
Yeah.
I paid for Super Mario World at least 3 times.
That's worth it though.
Yeah, I love that game.
Yeah, it's freaking fantastic. All
That's
right.
my favorite number.
Before we get into the train wreck part of the show, and I say train wreck because only one of us have actually played it, I want to ask all of you who are watching on the Twitch stream. I'm only going to take a second to do this. If you'll scroll down to the bottom, and you'll see some links to stuff. We are a Humble Bundle partner. If you use that link and buy anything on Humble Bundle that qualifies, we get a little kickback for that. And there's also here a free month of Twitch Prime, which is basically Amazon Prime. You get all the cool Twitch Prime stuff and the 2-day delivery and Amazon Instant Video. And if you use the link down here, we get a little kickback out of that. If you don't like it after 30 days, you can always cancel. Along with your Prime subscription, you get a free subscribe to any one Twitch channel every month. And if you do have Amazon Prime and you still have your subscribe, we would appreciate it if you'd use that here with us, because it helps us pay for all of this cool stuff so that we can continue bringing you great content. All right. Now that I just talked about great content, let's talk about Jak 3. Like I said, the game's on PS2. There's a remake. We didn't bring this up, but there is a remake for PS3. And then, of course, you can buy the game backwards compatible for PlayStation 4. Is that trilogy that came out for PS3? Is it also on Vita?
It is. It's
Okay.
it's the same exact thing.
Exact same. If you bought it on PSN, do you get the Vita version?
That I don't remember. I vaguely remember something along those lines, but I don't remember.
Yeah, because I know
I had it on both.
Right. I know that some games you buy it on PSN, you get it everywhere, and other games you don't. And it's just publisher by publisher.
Yeah.
Depends on how they want to do things. Okay. So we're in this segment of the show, we're gonna talk about art style, sound design, musical score, the technical stuff of the game. Now I have played and beat Jak and Daxter 1, which was actually the only one that Daxter's name was in the title. And then I played through enough of Jak 2 to kind of get the idea of what was going on there. And I haven't played Jak 3 at all. So, but I am going to assume that the game is running on the same engine as the other two.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it probably looks similar. And
it looks similar. I like to think that it looks a little bit cleaner, a little bit nicer in number 3.
More optimized.
Yeah. But for the most part, it looks the same.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's a very cartoonish style, not cell shaded, but like everything's kind of deformed a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely highly stylized. It's almost like Twilight Princess was a little bit stylized, but not cell shaded.
That's like yeah.
But this is like more stylized than Twilight Princess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so because of that, it's my opinion, and I think it's also the opinion of my co-host, that things that are stylized and don't go for photorealism always age better. So the game probably looks fairly decent by today's standards.
I bet in like 10 years, the Uncharted series is not going to look that great.
Nope. We'll all look at it and go, how did we play this? This looks terrible.
It's like looking at N64 games now.
Right?
For the most part.
Yeah.
Bowser in Super Mario 64 looks so derpy.
I know.
It's painful.
He looks like almost like a plush toy.
Yeah. Because like his mohawk is like tiny. It's like not even there.
Yeah.
And like his eyes are all like weirdly whatever. We're not talking about Super Mario 64. We're talking about Jak 3.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah, so Nolan, as the resident expert here, you want to take us through it?
Sure. So I mean, like, the sound design is very similar to the previous games. It's there's a lot of like the background sound effects and whatnot that go on just kind of as you're in the world are very, like, they're, most of the time it's pretty subtle, but it adds so much that it's kind of like you kind of forget about it. It's very like atmospheric, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of say that but it adds to it in a way that you don't normally, you maybe not think about in some of the little things that are in there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Yeah, I mean the sound is pretty similar to the previous one, so there's not much to say on that. The story, they really did a fantastic job on the story in this one. It wraps up a lot of things in the series that kind of like, oh, there was this little thing that they like kind of showed you and then just kind of never went back to, or like in the first 2 games that all of a sudden, you know, they kind of talk about it and like, oh, you know, that comes up nicely, and it's and I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't played, but there's a couple really fantastic just like plot points that are just like oh my gosh, like I can't believe that. But basically where the story starts off is that it starts off a year after the events of Jak 2.
Okay.
And the metalheads, which were those like creatures outside that are slowly trying to take over Haven City, which is like that main city you're in, along with the Crimson Guard bots, are also kind of going haywire. That someone has started up the factory and they're just being produced, and they're kind of out and about and doing all kinds of stuff. The Crimson Guards are on your side now, though. Like in the previous game, like they were kind of, it was very GTA, you know, the cops are going to stop you and shoot you. And this one, that's not really the case unless you like actually go and kill several of them. But for the most part, they're kind of like, you know, we understand who you are. But anyway, so that happens. Various bureaucratic things happen, and a man by the name of Count Veigar basically has you blamed for what has happened to the collapse of like the tower and the town itself. And unfortunately, your friends can't really do anything to stop that. So you've basically been banished to the wasteland, which was brought up in the previous game. Like if you remember, that guy Sig had that super fantastic, like it shot the electric balls.
Yeah.
That awesome weapon. Yeah. Like he's what's called a wastelander, and he's like from out there. You're cast out there. As you're basically cast out, one of your friends, Ashlyn, gives you like a little like blinking device that's basically like, hold on to this, someone will find you. And eventually you are found by wastelanders and taken to the city in the desert that's Spargus City, where you were found by King Damus, who's basically like, I'm glad that we found you. However, you must be useful in some way, or else, you know, you're just from another mouth to feed, in which case we'll just throw you out. Right. That's the way of the thing. And, you know, you go through, it's like, okay. So you get to say, like, you know, you're good at fighting and all this. So you go into the arena and you're kind of like a gladiator a bit to like prove your worth and like, okay, this. So you get your first gun and you go and you do a couple little jobs, and eventually if you can get your 3 tests of courage, you're able to make your way through. And through things you find your buddy Sig is in the gladiator thing, and like through various events, you know, something happens, you have to make your way, and you eventually make your way back to Haven City, and you find, you know, weird stuff is happening, and that you know, you find out about the war factory being turned back on, and someone's pulling the strings from behind, but they don't know who. And you also find there is a monastery out in the way back there that basically, for whatever reason, Count Veigar is very interested in what's going on out there. And you get out there and you find that basically, once again, you are the chosen one. And,
obviously. Jeez.
right?
How
And
come it's
you
never
are told,
Daxter? I mean, he's the one that got turned into an animal. Why can't he be the chosen?
You know,
Well,
yeah. Um,
Seems like
anyway,
he's getting the raw end of this deal.
he kind of does, but that's for later.
yeah, there's-
And he finds out that in addition to Dark Jack, which you probably remember from the previous game, there's also Light Eco. So you're filled
Yep.
with Light Eco, and you can turn into Light Jack, which is
you go
more
Super Saiyan.
defensive kind of things, or you can heal yourself, you can stop time, you get a shield, you get wings, are your 4 ability powers
Mhm.
with that. And the various things you find out, that Count Viger is trying to basically harness the power of the precursors and do a couple different things. You find that the Dark Makers, which were precursors that like basically fell or something,
Mhm.
are coming to destroy the planet, and the planet only has so much time. So once again, you have to save the world.
Just cleaned
You
up this
find-
mess.
I know. And you basically find after a lot of doing stuff that there's something in like the center of the planet that can be used to basically destroy the ship.
That's cool.
And some stuff happens, and you actually find some of the precursors down in the center of the earth, and they try to help you with this, and they can transport you onto the ship to destroy it from the inside, and then you do that, but unfortunately one of the weapons gets loose from the ship and falls to the surface of the planet, and you have to go destroy it and stuff. And then you destroy the machine, and the antagonist, everyone's okay, and the precursor's like, we have to show you all of this stuff. You have to come with us. And so Jack gets on the ship, and then as the ship takes off, he steps out. He's like, nah, I need to be here, or else Daxter is going to get into some trouble or something. And that's basically, and then they set up for the next game, which was Jack X, like the racing game.
So the racing game actually ties into the plot?
Not really. It's like certain things that happen in the racing game have things to do with what happened in the previous games, but it's canonical, but it doesn't have like a super overarching plot about most of what happened.
Okay. Because I just assumed it was a kart racer spinoff.
It is like it has like points that things happened in this game that
Okay.
that like have to do with the previous games.
Does it have a story like Diddy Kong Racing?
It has like an actual story, yeah.
I was
Wow.
actually thinking like it would be like if Diddy Kong Racing was also like Donkey Kong Country 4.
That'd be
Right?
interesting.
Except there's Whiz Pig instead of King K. Rool.
King K. Rool. Yeah.
So if I remember right, let's backtrack through the series a little bit. So I did beat the first one. I don't think I know like there's some extra ending if you 100% it, and I didn't 100% it, so I don't think I've seen.
But yeah, if you
that
100%
ending.
it shows like what happens to the intro to Jack 2.
Okay, because
Is what that
I did
is.
the thing where I beat the big bad boss thing, and then I get sent through now. And keep in mind, I played it on the PS3 remaster, so I guess it's possible that it's different a little bit than it was on the PS2. I beat the boss, and I find myself getting launched into another portal, which then is how you wind up at the beginning of Jack 2, and you're in this weird place where you're in this town, and everything's locked down, and there's the Crimson Guard that you mentioned, and it's got this weird Grand Theft Auto feel to it, which was one of the reasons why like I really enjoyed Jack and Daxter. I was not super crazy about Jack 2, and that's why I think I didn't finish it.
Right.
and then of course I haven't played Jack 3 yet. So the Crimson Guard, when you get to the end of Jack 2, is now then Jack 3, they're kind of on your side.
Yeah.
So something must have happened, and if I would have played it and beat it, I would probably know. Something must have happened that made them switch sides and all that stuff. I do want to know, and I'm assuming that the answer is no, because there's a Vita game about him, and he's still that little weasel-looking thing.
Actually, it was a PSP.
Okay, PSP, yeah, not Vita. Is there ever a point where Daxter gets turned back into the kid?
No.
Okay.
Well, like the whole thing is at the end of the first game that
jacked up.
Is there's the light eco in that one, which is not the same as the light eco in Jack 3.
Okay.
It was either Daxter can turn back to being a human thing,
yeah,
or Jack can save the world, and Daxter decided that it was better if the world gets saved.
I mean, that makes sense, because if the world's not saved, what good does it do you to be turned back into a kid? Because everything's dead. So I get that.
Daxter looks better as an Ottsol than he ever did.
Very true, and he has the voice for it. I just don't think being a human was really working out for him the way that said it was. So.
There's also plot reasons.
At the end of Jack 3, he gets some pants. He finally gets some pants. He's been talking about pants like the entirety of games 2 and 3,
because he runs around pretty much nude. I mean, he's covered in fur, but
at
the same time, he's like, yeah. So he finally gets some sweet denim shorts.
Nice.
Yeah.
Can't argue with that. Okay, so there you go. There's the plot of the Jak and Daxter series up to
no spoilers.
Yeah, with no spoilers, up to the beginning of Jak X.
Yeah.
Those of you who are wondering. All right. Since, I mean, obviously, we also talk about outside influences for the game. And since we've already talked about the first two games, we've kind of covered this already, but this game is a 3D platformer.
Yeah. So, like 3D third-person platformer shooter.
Right. So obviously the biggest influence on this series of games would be your N64 era 3D platformers like Super Mario 64 and Banjo-Kazooie. I guess Donkey Kong 64 would be in there.
I would say Crash also had.
Yeah. It is a Naughty Dog game.
Yeah. So you got that, and so this game, and actually Jak 2, like you pointed out, introduced a lot more shooting mechanics, which was not a big thing in most N64 era 3D platformers. You know, Mario didn't shoot anything.
There was a shooting mechanic in Banjo-Tooie.
Okay.
Yeah,
that played like GoldenEye.
Did Diddy Kong have his little peanut gun shooter in Donkey Kong 64? Did that?
He did. Yeah, Diddy had that. Depending on which Kong you had, it was everyone had a different gun.
Okay, so there's some light shooting in some of those.
They mentioned all the different things you shoot in the DK rap.
Yeah. There's actually
the bridge, I think.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That song was awful, by the way.
Yeah, not Greg Kirkhope's best work.
No. You think that's how Eminem got his start? He heard the DK rap and he was like, I know what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. Actually, which came first, Eminem's first album or the DK rap? I don't know.
Oh, man.
I feel like Eminem's first album came first.
I'm going to find out. So DK...
The Marshall Mathers LP or whatever.
DK64 release date was...
No, that's the third one. What's his first one?
So
Real Slim Shady?
DK64's release date was November 22nd, 1999. Oh, that's interesting. This game apparently never came to Japan. Weird. All right, and then...
Eminem's first... It says 1988? No.
That doesn't make any sense. Eminem like the rapper, not the candy.
Well, like 99? Yeah, some shady LP is what made him famous.
Yeah.
I guess he had another album before that called Infinite, 1996.
Oh, okay. Well, Donkey Kong 64 can't take credit for Eminem, so
No,
darn it. I was really hoping we had discovered something big here. But it
Would've
didn't
been-
happen.
No, it's the other way around.
Yeah.
Grant Kirkhope heard Eminem and was like, I can
Like-
do that.
Like, yes.
obviously.
And I'm going to sneak in a swear word into
Yeah.
an E-rated Nintendo game.
Right? How did that happen?
Wait, what?
Yeah, like one of the first lines in the song is
No, not it's in the middle of the song.
Oh,
So like you'd have
okay.
to let it play for a bit. But he said like one of the guys says like he's cool as hell or something like that.
No, they're having a hell of a time.
Oh,
So, like,
that's what
it is.
is. Yeah. And it's like, what? This is weird. So,
Like if you're actually paying attention and then you hear that, like it just comes out of nowhere. You're just
Right.
like, whoa, I was not expecting that in any
It's-
rated game.
you know, when you hear that, it's like we should have seen Conquer coming. It was
Right?
just downhill from there.
Oh my gosh. If you really pay attention to Banjo Kazooie though, the humor in that game, like it's like really
It does. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to say edgy, but it's like edgy for an E game. Like,
Kind of like edgy in the same way that sometimes Nicktoons could get a
or
little
Animaniacs.
Yeah, like
On par with Animaniacs.
Yeah, that kind
It's
of
like, good night, everybody. Because they knew they were getting canceled. Like, that's why they said that, right?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah,
but-
like every time they told like a joke that could be interpreted as a dirty joke, Yakko would say good night, everybody, because they just assumed they were going to get canceled immediately.
that makes sense. It makes sense to me. All right. So the impact that this game has had on Joel and I's life clearly began when we started recording the show.
Yeah,
Obviously.
So let's
Been for
throw it over to
45 minutes
Nolan. Nolan, did you play this game right when it came out when you were a kid?
I did. Like
Things like
I
that.
remember because I had Jack and Daxter, the first one, like that was one of the first game. I think my my PS2 came with it.
Okay.
And then when the second game came out, like I was super excited for that. 'Cause I'm like, awesome. And then it was very different. But then when the third game came out, it was one of the biggest things that I was looking forward to. And it didn't what's the word I'm thinking of?
I don't know.
It didn't let me down, basically.
Yeah.
It was yeah, like
Lived up
I
to the
can
hype.
say
Never
this
gonna
is
give
easily
you
within the
up,
top 10
Never
games
gonna
of all
let
time
you down.
is Jack 3.
Yeah.
It's like just like like I said, like the story, I skipped over a lot of things, but like there's a lot of like very deep plot stuff that happens in this one.
Yeah, I was trying to read through the story on Wikipedia real quick, and it's
And
like
it's,
a page long.
There's a
like-
lot. Like there's like
Oh,
one of the
this is-
biggest heartbreaks in games
Mm-hmm.
like happens in this. Yeah, it's like one of the biggest things like that still to this day. I'm like, I didn't see that coming. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, whoa. And yeah.
That's quite a claim.
Yeah, it's like
like as big as the Aerith.
That's
thing?
what I was like.
yeah, but Aerith was ruined for me though.
Oh,
Oh, that's so
Far,
sad.
far before everything. It's still sad,
you know,
but it's
it
like,
was kind of ruined for me too because my buddy was like, "Hey, watch this really crazy thing that happens." It's like I don't know who these people are.
it was ruined far before. Like this, I saw beforehand that it was like, I'm like, what? Like, it was huge. Like along with like that, the precursors.
Yeah.
That's a whole thing. Like that gets kind of explained.
I had the
Like-
precursors ruined for me.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah, Death Battle did it.
right. That makes
They
sense.
totally
Yeah.
spoiled that, and I was like, "Oh man."
Yeah. So yeah, like the precursors and that whole thing.
Mhm.
And just yeah, this game is just, it's like I said, it's like one of my favorite games of all time. It's
So
just, it's got, and like it has more guns in this one too. Like
Yeah.
before you
More
had
guns.
like the 4 gun, like there was the scatter gun, the like rifle one, the Vulcan Fury, which was just like a, you know, like shoot as fast as you can, the Peacemaker.
Mhm.
And then so those 4 are still here, but then like there's like upgrades to each of them that you can switch to. So like the blaster one, there's the regular blaster, then there's one that like makes them ricochet off walls and enemies. And there's one like you shoot at a disc that like just fires 50 shots all around, or like the Peacemaker one, like fully upgraded, just launches like a nuke that destroys everything on screen.
Yes, nukes.
You just
make
have
peace
a
and-
mushroom cloud, like the screen goes white. It's pretty fantastic, and there's
Yeah.
there's a lot of
Wow.
different things. Like I said, there's
Does
like
it even create an EMP and all the electronics go haywire?
it does not, unfortunately. But like, well, the second Peacemaker, it alters gravity of like everything around you.
Oh,
So like things just kind of float in
So-
the air, and you
so
can like shoot
Half-Life
them and
2?
attack them. Not quite like that. Like it's like it lets out like a pulse from around you, and anything you can destroy or any enemies kind of
Yeah.
just like float in the air and can't move, and you can like shoot them or like punch them or whatever until it wears off and they drop or die
so
or
it
whatever.
just alters like the personal gravity of your enemies.
Yeah. And there, like I said, the driving in this game is a lot. There's a big aspect of it. Like you have to do like a lot of wasteland things. There's like a lot of like desert, like dune buggy type things
Mhm.
that you can ride and unlock and stuff that are pretty fantastic.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at the box art, and this game is rated T, which Jak 2 is also rated T, but Jak and Daxter was rated E.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see this. The first game, everything's real colorful, like a Nintendo 3D platform would be. And then in the second game, I'm gonna guess like this is about the time that brown and drab started becoming in. And so everything's got to look like it's all tore up. And so the Jak 2 starts looking a little bit like that. And then I'm looking at the box art for Jak 3, and it's just the world has been nuked to crap. And
well, it hasn't
been doing pull-ups or something lately.
Oh yeah, like you get full on armor in this one.
Yeah.
Like you get a lot more health too. You get like full on armor, like for across everything. There's a reason it's the best one out of all of them. That if you can only play one, I would recommend this one by far.
So maybe I'll jump ahead to Dax 3.
Yeah,
Dax 3. That's not
Dax
the
3.
name of this game. Actually, I wanted to talk about that too. So the first game, Jak and Daxter. Okay.
Yeah.
Second game, we take Daxter out of the title, and it's just Jak 2, but it's Roman numerals. Okay.
Yeah.
Then we get to Jak 3, and it's the number 3.
Yeah, it's an
Come
Arabic
on,
numeral.
like, can we pick a format and stick with it for longer? And then the next game is Jak X, which, okay, like, is that X, or is it like the Macintosh and it's a 10? What is going on?
But it's not a 10 anymore.
So like, yes, right. So like,
they've had 13, 14
Naughty
versions.
Dog was doing the thing where you skip a bunch of numbers and go straight to 10 before Windows did it. Like,
Windows skipped one number.
Yeah,
All
but
right.
Naughty Dog was like, we're gonna skip 6.
7.
Or 7.
Well, like, the first time I saw Mega Man X, I thought it was Mega Man 10.
yeah.
Like, but
Honest
I think they'd
mistake.
only had 6 Mega Mans at that point. So
Yeah, because there were 6 on the NES. So
yeah, 6 on the
it's
NES.
just like, come on now. And is the Uncharted games are just Uncharted
1, 2,
1,
3,
Uncharted 2, 3, and 4. Yeah.
Then the
Wait,
one
then-
on the Vita.
It's Roman numeral shenanigans.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the Vita one didn't have a number.
Yeah,
Actually-
and then
Did 4, was it actually called 4?
Yeah,
and
it was
then
Uncharted 4.
A Thief's End, or
Thief's
whatever it
End,
is. Yeah.
something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there was the spin-off game from that, which is I don't even remember what it's called now. It's supposed to be DLC in it.
Actually, I need to backtrack something that I had here. Star Fox went from 1 to 64, so
Oh
that's
gosh.
the number to beat right there.
This is true. Then again,
What about all of
Super
them that
Mario
started with
Yeah, but Mario
completely
went from
abandoned numbers after 3.
Say, but well, 3 and then World and then World 2, which was
true.
Yoshi's Island, and then 64.
Yeah.
It's all over the place. So
And then they're like, no, we don't need numbers.
yeah, then like Sunshine. Well, then you got Galaxy 1 and 2.
Yeah.
See, but then with Mario Kart, they did it the other way. There was Mario Kart.
It was
And
Super Mario Kart.
Yeah,
actually,
Super Mario
first.
Kart, and then they dropped the Super, and of course they had 64, but then they were just names, and then all of a sudden it's 7,
And then
it's like,
8.
and it's like what?
Yeah.
And
7
then
and 8.
Deluxe.
Like, we're giving up with this naming
Yeah, like,
convention.
we
Who's
don't
gonna
care
number them?
anymore. Just don't worry about it.
I think
it's
it
probably
got really
fine.
hard to keep track of them
Probably
all
fine.
because there's like it's Double Dash and Super Circuit and Wii, and it's like, well, like
Yeah.
I think they really started giving up at Mario Kart Wii. They're just like, we're just gonna name it after the console. Like,
Yep.
not even
Yeah.
like pseudo after the console, like 64 or Super.
And I think I heard that if you actually count all the Mario Karts, by the time you get to 7, it's not actually the 7th one.
Because if you
Probably
if
not.
you count the arcade games as part of the series, then it's like Mario Kart 9.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, there are 2 arcade games before 7, and then there's a third one after it. And yeah,
There's apparently a VR Mario Kart in Japan now.
I don't want to.
Which
No.
That sounds amazing.
I'd say, yeah, I know. I'm like, this sounds so cool. I would
Why?
probably get so sick too.
Yeah.
Oh, you'd be so sick.
But it would be great.
I agree with Jimmy. Double Dash's best card.
You know, and
I wouldn't go
And
that
it-
far.
well, okay, I'd say here's our tangent for the episode.
That of you.
So Mario Kart 64, Double Dash, and 8 Deluxe are my top 3. I just don't know what order I would put them in.
That's probably
I
true.
agree.
That's probably where I put them.
And I don't know because I played a lot of 8 and 8 Deluxe, and like it's hard to go back sometimes.
Yeah. If they would, I would pay like $10 for a DLC mode that just like kind of shoved Double Dash into 8, like with the 2 people on a cart
Yeah.
mechanic. I'd pay for that. It'd be great. And then I could say, then I'd probably say 8 was my favorite because they would take
The
care of that
2-player
problem.
mode is the best.
That
'Cause,
was
like-
yeah. Double Dash did a really cool thing with that. We need to actually do that episode.
Yeah,
so-
and actually do it, unlike our failed attempt at doing it before. So
It has
By
its
the way,
times.
I was listening to the latest episode you uploaded, which was the one after our Double Dash fail.
Okay.
And we were talking about it, and I was just like, "Oh man,
yeah.
we're having audio
Oh.
sync issues." Oh no!
Refresh the page.
Yeah. And I'm not monitoring it, obviously.
Yeah, 'cause
so
everything looks good on
everything
our
looks
end.
fine on our end. I'm not dropping frames, so I
And
don't
that's
know what to
usually
tell
my
you.
thing. I'm like, refresh the page.
Is XSplit being bad to you?
it doesn't look like it's being bad to me, but I don't know.
You can usually find out pretty quickly.
Yeah. Well,
90% of the time, it's usually refresh the page and it's fine.
oh, is that a
Best I've
Twitch
found.
problem?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
That's what
Okay.
I found at least. But
Okay. Well, there you go.
Which
Um,
messes up on the user end a lot.
yeah.
Do we have any trivia for this game?
Shoot.
I
Yeah.
do. There is one thing that later on when like you get to the gun courses in Jack and Daxter, like when you get some of the really cool weapons. So there's like the precursor orbs, which I'm sure you guys remember. It's like the collectibles you trade them in for secret stuff, right?
Yep.
So one of the secrets you can get is you can actually get the Ratchet and Clank gun courses.
That's
from-
right. I've heard
from
about
those
this.
games.
Oh yeah.
And do it in that.
and Ratchet and Clank, developed by Insomniac,
is very
shared
it's
a
very similar to Jack and Daxter.
shared a building with Naughty Dog. We've talked about that before on the show.
Yeah.
And they are friends.
Yes,
Yeah, like
Probably.
and apparently in one of the Ratchet and Clanks, you can also get the Jack and Daxter gun courses as well.
Well, that's cool.
So, as like besides that, there's not really a lot of trivia that I can remember that I even saw
Yeah.
on here.
Well, all right.
Yeah.
Then.
That's basically it. Like there's, yeah.
I guess does that mean it's time to play Guess the Metacritic? Nope.
The concept artist Bob Rafey, we mentioned him, was always trying to give Jack dreadlocks, braids, or loose ponytails instead of his spiky hair, or kind of folded down hair that he gets later.
Ugh.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
like
glad.
it.
He apparently came very close to having mutton chops. Wow.
Yeah.
No.
You can turn his goatee on and off though. That's another secret thing.
That's weird.
But that's about it. Yeah, I'm like that's basically it though.
Yes. Let me just turn my facial hair off.
Yeah, that's really strange.
I can't do that. Like, yeah, it grows back, but it takes a month.
It takes a little while. It's all this hard work.
Not just like
involved.
I want it today, I don't want it tomorrow. Like,
wouldn't that be awesome though? Like if I had an app on my phone that was like just no facial hair, boop, it's gone. That'd be the best.
Done. Yeah.
I would like to be 20 pounds lighter today.
Oh no, a realistic reboot was actually considered by Naughty Dog after the completion of Uncharted 3.
No.
But they opted for The Last of Us instead. I don't know which was the better option.
Like as much as I did not like The Last of Us, I think a realistic reboot of Jack and Daxter would have been worse than The Last of Us.
Yeah, realizing the fans would probably not be pleased.
Right, and you can send all your hate to me about not liking The Last of Us to @Patrick Proper on Twitter, or find me on Facebook, facebook.com/huge cow patty.
Or if you want to be trolled, you can go to Salty Luchador.
Salty Luchador. Yeah. I'm gonna revive that. It's gonna happen
one of these years.
Yeah, one of these. So. All right, time to play Guess the Metacritic Score. Which so how we do that is the person who picked the game, which is Nolan, knows what the Metacritic score is. Joel and I do not. We play this Price is Right style, so whoever gets the closest without going over wins, and we go in the order that we pick the games, which means I'm gonna go first. If real quick. Nolan, is this based on the PlayStation 2 game or the remaster?
Well, what's fantastic is I can get it from the PS2, the PS3, or the PS4. But this will be the PS2 in its original glory.
Excellent. Okay, it seems to me like this game was fairly well received.
Yeah.
So it's probably pretty high. I am going to go with 89.
Okay.
You pick my number, you
jerk. Well, you could just be that guy and pick 90.
No, I'm gonna be that other guy and go 88.
Well, you're both over, unfortunately. It was well received, but not quite.
All right, so we got guess again. Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna drop down 10 points, 79.
Okay.
I'm gonna go farther down and say no. Oh, I kind of like Anifex's.
I was gonna say I saw Anifex's 83.
Yeah.
We're just gonna say 80 then.
80. Okay, so we got 80 for Joel, 83 for Anifex, and what was yours?
As I said, 79.
79. Okay, well, Anifex takes it because it's 84.
Oh, so close.
So yeah,
so close. Good job, Assad. Assad's a good friend of the show.
You win no prize.
Yeah. That's like twice now, man.
Send us your address and we'll give you a no prize.
How do we know that he's not looking it up and then like going down to just
right? This is true.
Yeah. For whatever reason, though, it's the lowest rated out of the 3 games.
But it's your personal favorite.
It is by far my personal favorite, and I'm pretty sure it's like the user's favorite one.
So real quick, can you? Because I'd like to know now. So if this is the lowest rated, where do the other two sit? Is like the first one the highest rated?
Yeah, the first one's the high. I think the first one hit like 90.
Okay.
I thought it was. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, first one is 90. Jak 2 is 87. And
Okay.
then this is 84.
84.
The Vita version of the Jak and Daxter collection was a 67.
Huh.
I could imagine that didn't run super well.
It wasn't terrible, but yeah, it really wasn't great.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, but playing such a big game on a small screen, I would imagine, is not fun.
it's not
Mhm.
great. But yeah. So that was for whatever reason, it got the lowest score.
Well, cool.
Besides that last one that just sucked. that they
The
let-
Last Frontier. Or Lost Frontier, whatever it's called.
Lost Frontier, yeah.
All right. Well,
Naughty Dog didn't develop it.
now it's the part of the game
That's
where
true.
we're going to find out what game we're going to be playing next week. If you're new to the show, we go in order of we rotate who picks. So the order is myself, Joel, and Nolan. Since Nolan picked this week, it's my turn to pick. We play 20 questions to figure out what the next game is. I know what the game is. Joel and Nolan and anybody else who's in the chat who wants to play along do not know what the game is, clearly, because I didn't tell them, and they're not mind readers. So they have 20 yes or no questions to figure out what the game is, and they have to give an answer either on the 20th question. Well, by give an answer, they have to ask, is it X game by question 20, or they lose. What do they lose? Not really anything, just dignity, I guess. I don't know. So, all right, I know what the game is. So, and I'm gonna adjust my camera because now I'm not slouching in my seat anymore. So y'all go ahead whenever you ready.
Go ahead and get your weird question out, Nolan. I know you love to
Okay.
do that.
I do. Let's see here. In this game, do you use an unconventional weapon?
Yes.
Okay.
And
That only
Joel's
kind of
size.
narrows it down.
I was like, in Joel's size because it didn't really help.
Yeah. So, did this come out before? Oh, how do I normally phrase this? Yeah,
Before
sure. Did this come out
January 1st?
before January 1st, 1990?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, look at
Before
that. Okay.
80s.
Excuse me.
Excuse you, sir. Wow.
Okay.
There are ladies present. Probably not, actually.
No, there's well, maybe my sister-in-law, but
Yeah, I was gonna say, Kara.
Because I know everybody who's chatted, in, well, except for the one person, but I seriously doubt that they're.
yeah, I doubt they're
That name
female.
now.
We're not saying their name of them either. All right, Nolan.
Right. So, it is an 80s game. Okay. It's just to make absolutely sure. Is this on the Nintendo Entertainment System?
That is correct.
Okay.
Was this developed by Nintendo?
Yes, yes,
Oh,
it
yes.
was.
We got a yes.
Was it what? I'm sorry.
It was-
It is an
it was
NES game by
developed
Nintendo
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
in the 80s.
Good to know.
That actually narrows it down a lot.
It does. Huh. I asked this earlier, but I'm gonna go more on it. This unconventional weapon, is it a yo-yo?
No.
Okay.
Good question, though.
I'm like, it's gonna narrow down to one of like very few. Wait a minute. So, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Done. Punch out.
I see that Joel is consulting a list.
I'm trying to think of these games that you might pick. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you do that game. You might do one of those. Gosh. So, have we talked about? Have we done an episode on a game? Or no, wait. Let me ask this a better question. Is this game in a franchise?
Yes.
Okay.
So that narrows it down a little bit more because there
Yeah.
are a lot of NES games that never got a sequel or anything.
That's true. It's an 80s NES game made by Nintendo that has an unconventional weapon that is not a yo-yo.
Part of a franchise.
Right, and it's part of a franchise.
Okay, well, we've done Zelda 2. Super Mario Land. Well, that's not an NES game.
Is it your turn, Nolan, I think?
Yeah.
Duck Hunt never got a sequel, nor did Wild Gunman, nor Wrecking Crew, nor Pinball. What? No, you wouldn't pick that game. Tower might never get a sequel.
Is it a popular series?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Really?
Okay.
Is one of the enemies an eggplant wizard?
No.
Oh, dang it. I was really hoping you'd be Kid Icarus.
Nope.
I didn't think about that. Okay.
Was a bow and arrow, would you consider that an unconventional weapon, though?
Oh,
I mean, I
I
wouldn't
suppose
have
not,
that
actually.
I mean, maybe for today, but
Maybe, yeah, but I don't know. Hawkeye, not Hawkeye.
I wouldn't have answered
Yeah.
that question.
It?
That way.
No, it's a Nintendo game. We
Yeah,
already figured that out.
It is developed by
No,
Nintendo.
okay.
Assad,
You were
so-
saying something, so I was confused. as to
Oh
what-
no, Assad was asking a question. So go ahead, Noah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Let's see.
It, I think I have it narrowed down to one of two things. I don't know why
Yeah?
you would pick either of these.
Do you want to go then?
No, go ahead and ask your question. It'll be fun.
Okay.
That wasn't a hint or anything. I just did it.
It's Wario World. No,
That was Wario World was definitely in the 2000s.
Yeah. Are you thinking of Wario's Woods?
which was in the 90s.
Which was
Yeah,
in the 90s, so that wouldn't
sorry.
have counted either.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2003
Let's
was
see.
Wario World, by the way.
Yeah.
Wario's Woods.
I don't know, man. I'm trying to
94.
and once again, I know I'm overthinking this.
Yeah, you should just ask something.
I should.
Just pick a series that it still could
Yes.
possibly be and ask a question about it. That's what I
Well,
would do.
that's the whole thing. So it's a popular series.
Mhm.
I guess is this series still being made new games?
Yeah.
That was a weird way to ask that.
But yeah, are there still
Okay.
games being made in the series? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. We have not covered the original Super Mario Brothers or the original Metroid. Okay. Both of those games have an unconventional weapon developed by Nintendo in the 80s for the NES. And we have covered games in these series.
Mhm.
Have we not done the original Super Mario?
We actually haven't, unless I overlooked one. We haven't done any of the NES Mario games, which is weird.
We did Super Mario World and just kind of moved on.
Yeah, but we haven't
Oh,
done
wow.
Mario 1, 2, or 3.
Wow.
Oh,
But
okay.
it's
now
also true that
3
we haven't done Metroid either.
Yeah, we've done Super
we did
Metroid.
Super
and-
Metroid and Metroid Prime.
Yeah, that was it. Wow. Could have sworn we did original Metroid.
Oh,
No.
we did Metroid
We did
2.
Metroid 2. Yeah.
Yeah, because
The original, though.
the remake came out for 3DS, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
we did that
That's
one,
right.
But
Okay.
It's. I mean, it's not Donkey Kong. I don't. Actually,
The
that
hammer, obviously.
came out on arcade, not the NES.
Mhm.
There is an NES version, but it's not the same.
It's Joel's turn.
It might
Yeah.
be Excitebike because there's Excitebike 64 and Excitebike Wii and Excite Truck. But we never covered Excitebike.
Also, would you say that
Well, excuse me.
there's an unconventional weapon in Excitebike?
Oh, well, I mean, if you're using the motorcycle as a weapon, but
That's
you
right.
usually do as much damage to yourself as you do the other guy. So
Yeah.
it wouldn't be Excitebike. I'm just gonna say it. Is this Super Mario Brothers?
No.
It could still be 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I think
It's popular.
It came out in 1990, so it might still be Metroid then.
Yeah.
I'm looking at these other games.
They're still being made.
Yep.
NES games and the popular things. Is it Mario related?
Yes.
Okay. I realized that was a weird thing to ask that, but I think I have an idea.
This is riveting.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, okay, it's not that. I was thinking maybe it may have been Dr. Mario.
But no, that came out in the 90s.
Yeah, it came out in 1990. That's why I was.
Yeah.
It's like, no, not that. Okay.
Jimmy's
But
just spitting out
Smash
random
Brothers,
things that
really?
weren't on the NES.
Yeah.
Is it Super Mario Brothers 2?
It is Super Mario Brothers 2.
Okay.
That's the only one that actually came out in the 80s for the NES.
So
Okay.
So
That's not
when you asked who developed it, I had to think about it because I was like, well, it's technically Doki Doki Panic. Did they make that game or did somebody else make it and they just
they made
skinned
it.
it to be Mario? But they did make it. Yeah, I see that here. So, yeah, Super Mario Bros. 2 US, which is, if you know a little bit of the history of the game, it was actually Doki Doki Panic, which was a licensed game Nintendo developed. It's meant to tie in with Fuji Television. The actual Super Mario Brothers 2 in Japan got
It was a ROM hack.
it was and the Nintendo of America thought that nobody over here in the States would actually like it. You know, it was too hard. It looked too much like the original Super Mario Brothers. So they took Doki Doki Panic, reskinned it, changed a couple of things other than that, and released it as Super Mario Bros. 2. Super Mario Bros. 2 Japan did eventually get released in the United States as Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels on the Super Nintendo in the Mario All-Stars collection.
Yeah.
So Mario,
That's
because
a hard freaking game, though.
yes, it is.
Lost
Because
Levels is
Super Mario
insane.
Brothers 2 is technically a different game, there's a lot of really weird stuff in it. When the answer to is, do you use an unconventional weapon? You're picking vegetables up out of the ground and throwing them. But a lot
Along
of
with other things.
along with other things.
Yeah.
But even though it started out as a game not in the Mario franchise, there are a lot of things from Super Mario Brothers 2 that
Shy
have
Guys.
carried on. Shy Guys came from this game.
Picking things up like turtle
picking-
shells.
Yep. So
And-
it'll be interesting. So when I had
Hello.
decided I was going to do this game, but I was like, I'm pretty sure we haven't done the game, but I'm gonna go look at the list. And then I was like, oh my gosh, we haven't done a single Mario game from the NES era. So when I realized that, I almost changed it to the original Super Mario Brothers, but I was like, no, I really want to do Mario 2. So
Mario 2's
with Mario 2.
yeah, I was gonna say it's more fun, but that's not true. It's just as much fun, I would say. It's
Yeah.
just
It's better
Different-
because you can be Toad or Peach.
Oh, that's true. Peach's floating ability
Yeah.
came from
Yeah.
breaks
this game.
Like,
Yeah, she really does.
like if you get a good running jump, you can float over almost entire levels.
Yep.
Like
It's
it's
pretty wild.
And I
So,
only ever used Peach as a kid. I didn't care that she ran slow or picked things up slow. She could fly.
I would use Peach in almost every level,
should probably wrap up.
but in any level where like I knew I was gonna have to do a lot of digging from the sand, I was Toad because he was the quickest.
It's because Toad is like a freaking bro.
But I don't think I ever played as Mario or Luigi.
I usually
I
play
have.
Mario because I liked that he was just all around decent. Luigi jumped too high and it messed up everything for me.
Yeah,
he flutter kicks, so he almost floats like Peach.
But anyway, well, we need to save some for the next episode. So the game is available on the NES. If you happen to run into like a arcade that has a Play Choice 10, it's in there. It's on the Super NES as part of Super Mario All-Stars, both the original cartridge and the one that came later with Super Mario World added to it. And it's on the Game Boy Advance as Super Mario Advance. It was the first Super Mario Advance game.
That's right. They totally screwed up the numbering mechanic with that series.
Yeah.
Because Mario Advance 2 was the original Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, it got weird.
3 was Super Mario World, and then 4 was Super Mario Brothers 3.
Yep. It was strange. Weird stuff. So there you go. That's what you can play it on. It's also on Virtual Console for 3DS, Wii, and Wii U. Everywhere. So you can play that. And remember, we're playing Super Mario Brothers 2 US, not Super Mario Brothers 2 Japan. If you play that one to prepare for the next episode, you will be lost because we're not talking.
You can play Advance. Advance is close enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all right, that's gonna do it. Let's start wrapping it up, saying goodbye, and then Nolan will tell us what our audio listeners, which by the way, I have found a solution to our audio podcast problem. I'm slowly uploading the episodes to that service while simultaneously trying to get the YouTube channel all caught up. So those of you who are really interested in the audio service that hasn't been being updated, I have found a solution. It's going to be ready very soon. And the back catalog is being added to YouTube. So hopefully, I mean, it's going to take a little while, but hopefully real soon here, I'll have everything up to date. I'll remember the numbers because I've kind of quit keeping track of that. So,
last episode I was like, are we on 71?
Yeah,
I put a question mark.
I don't know what we're on either. So it's getting updated, but it's going to be there, and we're getting all this stuff taken care of. So, all right, Nolan, where can we find you on the internet?
You can find me at Baseman214, Baseman21491, or Icy White Falcon on various video game things. Steam, PlayStation. I have finally set up my Nintendo thing, but I don't remember. It's one of those three. I forget. Yeah. So it's got
on the
picture
Switch
of a Triforce.
I say on the Switch, since they don't have Miiverse anymore, you're back to having to remember friend codes. Anyway, so
yeah, unfortunately. So that's right, huh? It's not a thing.
Yeah.
Oh well. Anyway.
And you stream here for us?
I do. I will not be streaming for a little while. Like I didn't this week. I probably won't next week.
Yeah, that's true.
Or this next week. I don't know. Well, eventually we'll get back to all of the death and dying in Dark Souls.
Yep. We would rather you die in Dark Souls than because you banned 3 times. So
yeah, because right now I can't really grip a controller with any kind of use. I mean, technically I could hold a controller. I just wouldn't be able to do much. You know that
Right.
If I really, because I really want to handicap myself when playing Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Right.
Why not?
Yeah.
Doesn't ever.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So eventually I will get back to that. Hopefully not too much longer, but yeah, we'll.
In the meantime, you can watch his streams. They get uploaded to Twitch. I haven't started highlighting them yet, but they will eventually. You'll see highlights on YouTube. So
I'm working on just a death counter for Dark Souls 1.
Oh, okay, cool.
That'd be pretty awesome. So that way you don't have to scroll through 26 hours of playtime.
Oh, I appreciate that. I really do. All right, Joel, where can we find you online?
I don't know why I feel like I had to sit up for that. Sorry. um, anywhere you can find me on the internet, you can find me under Obi-Watt Kenobi, Facebook, Twitch. No, don't Facebook. Sorry. Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Lost my train of thought. Nintendo, PSN, Steam, all those places. Yeah. I stream for CrossForge Gaming every Monday after Darman. We do Mario Maker Mondays, where you can type !submit and go to a Google form and submit a Super Mario Maker level. That's the easiest way for me to keep track of them.
Cool.
Do it now.
I forgot to upload any for you last week, and hopefully I'll get some.
Yeah.
For you.
Yeah. Anyway,
yeah.
Where was I going with that? Yeah. Oh, and so since we're talking about Super Mario Brothers 2 next week, I'm kind of excited because I love Super Mario. Like I played way too much Super Mario World as a kid. And so it made me really good at side-scrolling Mario games. And so I'm probably going to start streaming all the Mario games on my channel, my Twitch channel, just to kind of practice for Mario Maker Mondays.
There you go.
So,
right. Unfortunately, Mario 2 is not part of Mario Maker.
Yeah, because it's too weird.
Yeah, and it wouldn't work. But well, cool. You can find me right here, as well as Joel and Nolan on Original Gamers Podcast every Sunday night at twitch.tv/CrossForge Gaming. I also stream Patty Plays Pathetically on Wednesdays, and I host our community games on Friday. The second and fourth Friday of every month is, of course, Jackbox Party Pack. The other Fridays, we pick things that are, whatever works. If you come to Jackbox, that's where Shut Up Darman came from. If you're in the chat, you'll see that. Speaking of Jackbox Party Pack, Joel, why don't you show everybody that sweet shirt you're wearing?
Oh, yeah. I'm wearing a shirt that says no censorship.
Oh, right. Mine showed up
for his purpose.
In the laundry right now, or else I'd show you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't have my camera on for other reasons, but yeah, my that was one funny thing on Wednesday. I got home and my shirt was there.
I also have this right here. It is Doodle Valley. Shut up, Darman in repose. None of you ever sent me your addresses, so I couldn't send you these postcards. And I still need Josh, so I can send him one because he doesn't get a choice.
Did you get a bunch of them, or
there's 5?
Okay. Oh, so when you buy a post, they don't just send you one postcard.
They send you 5 of them.
Well, that's nice.
That's cool.
That'd be silly if they just sent you one.
Right. No, I pay $8 for these. Come on.
Oh yeah. All right, but yeah, so you can get those from our Jackbox Party Pack nights. What I was reading where you can find me. You can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/HugeCowPatty. I'm also on Twitter at Patrick Proper. I'm gonna revive Salty Luchador one of these days. It's actually in the pipeline. I'm gonna be doing stuff. I got a lot of really cool ideas for the YouTube channel because I do run the CrossForge Gaming YouTube channel. So go check that out at youtube.com/CrossForge Gaming. Also, please consider the Twitch Prime free month trial that you'll find down below on the Twitch page. You get 30 days free of 2-day shipping from Amazon, Amazon Prime Instant Video, as well as all the cool Twitch Prime stuff, as well as the ability to subscribe to a channel for free once a month. And we hope that if you do have the ability to do that, that you will pick us as your free one. If you've already spent your free one, you can, of course, pay to subscribe to others. That is an option. Also, patreon.com/CrossForge Gaming. We have, speaking of the Patreon, we're trying to flesh that out a lot more. We had some rewards and stuff, and we've completely changed it to some stuff that is a lot easier for us to do. And as part of that, we're going to start doing monthly Ask Me Anythings. And the first one of those is coming up this week. I am not 100% certain what day it is. I'll have to talk with my cohorts, but if you follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/CrossForge Gaming, and in the community group, facebook.com/group/CrossForge Gaming, you will see, we'll tell you when that is. We'll take questions and all that stuff. And Jimmy's reminding me, I mentioned this earlier in the stream, but Jimmy's reminding me the Humble monthly bundle. We got a link to that down below. The Humble monthly bundle is a steal. Honestly, it's $12 a month. You get usually there's a AAA title in there that was $60 at one point, and even at the time that it's in the monthly bundle, it's usually pretty. It's still like $40 if you were to go buy it somewhere else. So there's the Humble monthly bundle and the other bundles. Money still goes to charity and still goes to the indie developer who supplied the game, and to Humble bundle, of course, and a little bit of the money goes to us if you do that. So, all right, enough with the commercial. Thanks for watching. Nolan, our audio listeners, what are they going to hear for music?
So what you heard at the beginning was the theme for the Spargus Arena, which is kind of the opening music for the game itself. And then what you're about to hear is kind of like the staff credits kind of thing, which is also happens to be kind of a remix version of the Jak and Daxter theme, which I thought was very appropriate because as much as I love Jak X and the Daxter game, this was probably the best game that just to kind of end the series on. So it like I said, it wraps everything up nicely, and the credits theme is it's very, very nice. So I thought that'd be something nice to hear.
Cool.
So,
all right, well, that's going to do it for us here on Original Gamers Podcast. Thanks for coming out and watching and listening, whether you did so on Twitch or YouTube or on our new audio feed. We love you guys, and we appreciate you, and we will see you next week right here on Original Gamers Podcast. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.
Be good, humans.
Bye, everybody. Okay.
It's Joel getting out of turn. And make sure